Creative writing about images in the art therapy process is a very helpful way to gain a deeper, more impactful connection and meaning about the images before actually talking about them. So they help us to enrich and amplify the image with words while still staying in the imaginative sphere of the creative process. I'm Yasmin, I'm a Jungian art therapist, and in this video I'm going to share with you 5 different writing exercises that I use with my own clients that I've found to be especially helpful. So the first exercise that I'm going to share with you is called free word association. It's very simple. You simply look at an image and you think of around 5 words that come to your head or come to your mind when you look at the image. So any 5 that are the first to just pop into your mind. They don't have to make any sense. They can just be completely intuitive, and just trust that the words that come are the right words. So after you've written down those 5 words, you then write a free form text. It doesn't have to be any sort of format, like it doesn't have to be a story or a poem. It can just be a random flow of thoughts that come to your mind when you look at the image. And in that free form text, you should use some of those words that you wrote down. So you can use all 5 of them or just some of those 5 that feel the most important to you. And if you're an art therapist who facilitates groups, this is also a really great exercise to do with groups in a way that each participant gives these words to each other. So each participant will have a lot of different words from all of the other participants, and from all of those words they can write their text. So the second sort of writing exercise is called active imagination writing. And before I go into the actual writing exercise, I want to give you a little bit of background about what active imagination is. So it's a technique developed by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, and it helps us to connect with our unconscious through dreams and fantasies and creative expression. So there's basically 2 stages to active imagination, and the first stage is kind of like dreaming in our waking life. And this can happen naturally, or it can be intentionally started. Like in this example, we're going to start it from a certain image. And then the second stage involves engaging with the image and then acting on the insight that you gain. So in this example, we're going to be writing about our image. So that's going to be the way to engage with the image. So to do this, you take the image that you've chosen that you want to write about, and you close your eyes and take a while just to relax and breathe. And when you find yourself in a relaxed, grounded place, you take the image that you want to work with into your mind's eye. And from there, you just kind of see if that image starts to transform in some way. And maybe some elements appear, maybe others disappear, maybe something moves. Elements can also start speaking or talking. There can be different sorts of sounds or smells that you experience. So in a way, you're bringing it alive in your mind's eye. But it's also possible that nothing happens, and this is really totally okay. And nothing should be kind of imposed. It shouldn't come from a pressure to see something. So only if it naturally starts moving and transforming, then you explore and see what happens. And you can also be active in a way, and this is why it's called active imagination. You can also actively, as kind of an explorer, speak and engage with this image. And for example, you can have different sorts of discussions with the elements in the image. So after you've done this, you can write about what you experienced. you can write about what you saw, what you felt, what kind of thoughts you had, or if you had any discussions. Just write about what happened in the image and in this active imagination process. So the third exercise you can do is called dialoguing with an image. And basically what this is that you, as a viewer of the image, engage in a discussion or dialogue with the image in front of you. I find that it's best to do with images that have one clear main element. It can be abstract or it can be representative. I have an example from my art journal here of an image that would be good to do this writing exercise on, because I can clearly take this main element, which is a baby or a person, and discuss with that image. So this is especially helpful if art therapy techniques and methods are kind of new to you. It's easier to start with something that's very clear. So basically what you do is you think of it kind of like writing a play. You can say something to this image element and that element can speak to you and answer to you. You can ask the image different questions that you want to know, like where did you come from? Why have you appeared into my image? Where are you going? Is there something you want to tell me? Or is there something that you need? So you can really ask anything that you want to ask. And it can also be an organic dialogue, just a discussion like you would have with a friend or a family member. So then another form of this dialogue, so the fourth exercise we're gonna do is similar, but you can use it in images where you have two main elements. So I'm just going to show you an example from that as well from my art journal. So here we have a collage. There's this woman here and this guy here. So this would be a good image to choose for this writing exercise. So basically what you do is, instead of you being kind of like the active explorer of the image, you pick these two different elements to have a discussion with each other. So this woman might say something to this guy and this guy might answer something to this guy, and they can have a dialogue to understand each other better. And also because essentially everything in the image that we've made is a reflection of some part of ourselves. When we write these dialogues, we may find that the discussions sound, and the voices in the discussions actually sound familiar to us, either from our inner life or our outer life. So they are parts which we have somehow internalized. Somehow we may be unconscious or conscious of them, but they may give us insight into the different aspects of ourselves. So the last writing exercise is good if you have a series of images that you want to look at as a whole. So it works if you have a minimum of 3 images, but you can have up to how many ever you have. So personally, I use this with clients at the end of the art therapy process where they've already done a lot of work, and we kind of want to examine the journey that they've been on from the beginning to the end. So what you do is you either yourself, if they're your own work, or if you're an art therapist working with a client, you have the client section the images into 3 different parts. The first part being what they feel is the beginning of the process, the second part being what they feel is the middle of the process, and then the third part being what they feel is the end of the process. Then you divide your paper into 3 parts, and in the first part you write in the beginning, and the second part you write after that, and then in the third part, you write in the end, or as a result, or from there on. So then in the first section, in the beginning, you write about the first section of the images. The second section, you write about the second section of images, and so on. So it kind of becomes this story, imaginative story of the whole art therapy process and journey. And it's a really helpful way to understand from a deeper, more imaginative level what you have been through possibly a process that has lasted for many weeks or months. So I hope you enjoyed these exercises. I personally feel that the writing really helps to transition smoothly from the image making into the sharing parts of the art therapy process, because it kind of helps you to associate the words with the images before logically talking about this, because often the logical sharing part can kind of flatten the images, and the imagination can really enrich them and bring them alive. So try them for yourself, and if you're an art therapist, you can try them on yourself, and after that, if you like them, you can maybe try them with your clients. Thanks, and I hope you like this video.